Hello, everybody. It's Joanne Musa, the Tax Lien Lady, here on Facebook. This is Ask the Tax Lien Lady Live, where you get to ask me your questions about investing in tax liens or tax deeds, and I can answer them here on Facebook for you live. And hopefully, Nicole will be with us soon, and she'll be able to help me out by typing in um, any places on the web that I recommend for you guys to go to. And let me know who's here. Let me know where you're from. That helps me better answer your questions, because guess what? Tax lien and tax deed investing is different in every state. Anybody that tells you they're an expert all over the country is not really telling you the truth, because it's so different in every state. There are some states where I really know about what goes on in those states, and there's other states where I don't. And sometimes that's because those states are really not worth investing in. But sometimes it's because I just haven't been there. Okay. And I do bring in experts from other states every once in a while. For instance, this December, we will have a webinar on Texas. And although I know a little bit about Texas, I've investigated some sales there, but I've never actually been to one. And almost all the tax sales in Texas are live. Well, I have the expert on Texas coming to do a webinar for us in December. But our next wealth building webinar is tomorrow night, and that is on paying off your debt faster. So I hope you'll be with us for that one. And it's free to come to live. To get the replay, you do have to be a member of the wealth building webinars, but you get all the replays. It's only $49 a month. You get all the replays of all the webinars that we've done. And we do webinars on a lot of different topics. Some are on investing topics in real estate investing, in tax lien investing, tax deed investing. And some are on things like what's the best insurance product to get? What's the best retirement account to have? How to get a self-directed IRA that's really self-directed. What's the difference between a self-directed IRA and a solo 401k? Which one is better? These are the kinds of topics that we have on these wealth building webinars. All right, Ray, good to see you. Ray says he really needs to learn South Carolina. Cool, Ray. I've been to South Carolina personally. That is one of my favorite states. And we just had a wealth building webinar on redeemable deeds where not a wealth building webinar. We did have one on redeemable deeds, but we just did last month, we did a workshop on redeemable deed investing. And I think you were in that workshop, Ray. And we talked a little bit about South Carolina, and South Carolina tax sales are going on now. As a matter of fact, if you guys got my newsletter that came out today, it talked about all the sales that are coming up from now till the end of the year. And South Carolina sales are still going on. Big one coming up in Horry County, by the way. Okay, so what is it that you want to know about South Carolina? I can't give you a whole training on South Carolina today, and this is not what this is for. This is to answer like specific questions that you have about your lien or deed investing. But if you want to learn more about South Carolina, if you were in that workshop that we did, there is a lot of information in there. I also just did a post. I took a client to South Carolina. We had VIP days. I do VIP days where I can actually go to the tax sale with you. So I did that with a coaching client a couple of years ago. We went to a South Carolina tax sale, and you could watch the video with Jim and myself. It's on my blog at Tax Lien Investing Tips. And there was a link to it in the newsletter that went out today. and Jim got 4 redeemable deeds for just under $15,000. And one of them redeemed right away because they weren't supposed to sell it at the sale. And so he got his money back with a little bit of interest. But the others took a year to redeem, so he made 12% on his money on all the others. He was very happy, and he's going to do it again with a lot more money next year. So, okay, let's see what questions we have. And Nicole has put a link for you to register for our webinar tomorrow night. And by the way, next month we are going to have a webinar on Texas. And we're also going to do a workshop that I will be doing with Arnie on Texas. We'll be doing a 2-hour workshop next month on Texas tax sales. Hi, Peter. Good afternoon to you. And Philip, glad to see you here. Oh, where do you get the newsletter? You have to get on my list, Philip, to get the newsletter. I'll tell you, let's put this in there for everybody, Nicole. You can go to taxlientipsnewsletter.com, or you can, if you want to get a little training from me with the newsletter every month, you could go to taxlientinvestingkit.com and get a 10 video training from me. It comes over 10 days. You get a 10 video training from me. You get my special report on 7 steps to building your profitable tax lien portfolio. You get my state guide on what happens in every state. And you also get on my list, so you get my newsletter every month. Okay, and you'll probably get a lot of other emails from me too. So if you get tired of them, you can always unsubscribe, or you could just ignore them until you find something that you want to click on. That's what I do with a lot of stuff. Okay. Yeah, and Nicole put in there where to go to get the video that I did with my client Jim, who did a 3-day. Now he did a 3 VIP day with me, 3-day VIP weekend. Okay, we met on a Friday in South Carolina where the tax sale was. He is from North Carolina, so for him it was an hour or 2-hour drive. And I stayed with relatives in North Carolina that was really close to the sale that we were going to. And I actually, when we were at the sale, I actually stayed a couple nights there where the sale was. And we met on a Friday. I did due diligence with him on Friday and Saturday. We took Sunday off, and then I went to the tax sale with him on Monday. Now, up to that point, before that, he did coaching with me because the VIP, 3-day VIP weekend, and it doesn't have to be a weekend, it can be during the week. And I also do 1-days too. If you don't want all 3 days, you could also do just 1 day where I go to the sale with you and coach you beforehand. Now, I had to coach him beforehand. He had to know exactly how to prepare for that sale. All right, because there's things you have to do ahead of time. He registered for the sale ahead of time. He got his banking in order ahead of time, which, you know, I helped him do all that through the coaching. All right. And we did some of the due diligence ahead of time so that we knew which properties we had to physically go look at on those 2 days before we went to the tax sale. And Nicole, Phillip is saying he can't copy or click on the links that you put in there. And I don't know why. Let me see. Yeah, they are clickable. If you just put your mouse over that last link, you could click on it. It looks like it's not clickable because it's not underlined, but it is. And if I can do it here on StreamYard, she's putting it into the comments on Facebook. So it's got to be working. Yeah, they are clickable, Nicole, so I don't know what the problem is. Okay, so let me look at some of these questions here. Peter has asked, which are the best counties in South Carolina? Can you get a deed for $400? Well, you get a redeemable deed in South Carolina. And yes, you can. And as I said, my client, Jim, got 4 for under 15,000. So yes, most of them were under 4,000. You can in some places in South Carolina, not all. All right. You can get 1. I'd say maybe 2. All right. Maybe 2. But lien states, definitely you can. But as Ray had said, for redeemable deeds, it's, more like $10,000. But in South Carolina, if you go to the right sales and bid on the right properties, I think only one of them he bid on was around 5,000. The others were lower. Like I want to say around 3,000, because remember, he got 4 for 15. So most of them were lower than that. I think he got 1 for 5, 1 for 3, and the rest were smaller deeds that he got, redeemable deeds, and they all redeemed. Okay. Oh, and cross. Hello, whoever you are. You're from Connecticut. There are tax sales going on in Connecticut, and they do have redeemable deeds and liens in Connecticut. It's done on the municipal level, not the county level. So don't ask the county clerk. They're not going to know what to tell you. All right. You've got to talk to the tax collector, the township tax collector, to find out what's going on in Connecticut. Can I see you? I can see what you type in, but no, I can't see you. I am on StreamYard. I'm not on Facebook. And you guys can see me because I'm doing this live, but I can't see you, but I can see your comments. They're going to come to me on StreamYard. And if I miss them, Nicole will see them. Okay. So we can see what you're writing in, but we can't see you. Oh, can you see this? Philip's asking, can you see this other than on Facebook Live? No. Sometimes I do put the recordings, I'll download them and put them on my blog. So you might see a couple on the Tax Lien Investing Tips blog, but generally, no. They're only here on Facebook. Do you remember how much interest do you make in South Carolina when they redeem the deed? It's 12% per year, Ray, but they do it quarterly and it's 3% per quarter. My client, because they were held for a year before they redeemed, he made 12% on his. Cross says, I bought a lien on the second market and it's a mess. You have to be careful on the secondary market. I do trainings on that. And I would prefer that you come to me first before you buy something on the secondary market. People actually consult with me, pay me for a consultation to help them buy on the secondary market so they don't get in a mess. Utah company. I hope it wasn't a Utah lien. They sell deeds mostly in Utah. REI Holding. That's you got to be careful with the secondary market because not all those liens are valuable. Some of them would cost you more to foreclose on than they're worth. They've been held too long. Some of them are expired. Some of them just aren't worth it. But it can be very profitable. I've made a lot of profit with secondary liens, especially Illinois secondary liens. But for some states, it doesn't make sense. So you really have to know what you're doing when you buy secondary liens. And I do trainings on that. My advanced tax lien investing secrets training, we do cover about secondary liens. And I actually do trainings for my members too. Definitely you want to be a member, and I do coaching every month for my members. We have a group coaching every month. So before you buy any more secondary liens, become a member of the Tax Lien Profits Accelerator. And Nicole can put in the link to the Tax Lien Profits Accelerator to find out more about it. And Nicole, give them the link that goes to taxlienlady.com/tax lien profits accelerator, because that tells them a little bit about it, and then gives a link where they could find out what all the benefits were and buy if they want to. You could either do it for the year or monthly. Okay, the 5 top counties in South Carolina. You guys want to know what the best counties are in South Carolina? I don't know what the 5 top counties are in South Carolina. And there's 2 different ways to go about it. One is you can Google 5 best counties to live in South Carolina. But if you do that, you're likely to come up with counties that are going to be really competitive. So I just happened to pick a county when I went with Jim that was a very depressed county. As a matter of fact, there wasn't even a nice hotel for me to stay in or a nice restaurant to eat in that county. Okay. It was pretty depressed, but it was still worth going to that sale. And that's why he was able to get 4 properties for under $15,000. Okay. And they all redeemed. So even though it's a depressed area and the properties are not the best, they're going to redeem. Unless, of course, we drove by, we did our due diligence and made sure they were decent properties. Okay. Philip says, let's partner. Well, if you want to know how to have me come to a sale with you and how to be a VIP client, then go to my blog at Tax Lien Investing Tips, and Nicole had put that link in there to the blog post that I did. That you could start with coaching with me, and then everything that you put towards coaching goes towards your VIP day or VIP days with me, and that includes all my travel expenses to go to a tax sale with you. Okay. Yeah, poverty rate is very high in South Carolina. Well, we went 2 years ago, right after one of the big hurricanes. I don't know if it was Floyd. I forget which hurricane it was. But the area that we went to, there were FEMA signs up all over the place, and the cotton crop had been destroyed that year. Yeah, so it was depressed. But what I saw looking around at those properties, there were nice areas there, and of course there wasn't much available in the tax sale in those nicer areas. But what I liked, I saw that there was construction going on. There were things being built, and there was construction going on. So that told me it was a good place to invest. All right. Also, my client liked it because he went through there on his way to Myrtle Beach. Now, Myrtle Beach was like 80 miles away, or Horry County. It was probably more than 80 miles away, but Myrtle Beach is in Horry County, and Horry County was only 80 miles away from where we went in Marlborough County, which, by the way, that sale I think has already passed. But there are other sales coming up in North Carolina. The trick is to find a sale that has enough properties in it so that there's enough available in the sale. So that's what I would look for. Like, I don't say, okay, these are the 5 best counties. These are the ones that I want to go to. You've got to figure that out. And the way you figure that out is by going to the sales and finding out which ones are more competitive. Now, the other way you find out before you even do that is getting the results of past tax sales. And so that's the first thing I have my clients do, is we get the results of the past tax sales in that county before we go there. All right. Then what we do is look for a sale that has enough available because I know if there's only a few deeds in that sale, that the competition is going to be pretty fierce. So I want there to be enough available. And I don't want there to be a big city where everybody wants to go. Or right now, people are moving out of the city, so it's the suburbs. So if there are areas that are areas where people really want to live and where houses are selling like hotcakes, probably that's going to be a competitive tax sale. All right. So it's not finding the best places to, like the best places to live per se, or the best real estate places. It's finding the places that aren't so competitive, but still have good areas. All right. So once I determine a tax sale to go to, a county that I'm going to go to, then I would do that Google search for the best places to live in that county. And that's where I would focus. All right. So I don't know. Does that answer your questions, guys, about, the best places to invest? I can't rattle them off the top of my head because I don't know. I can tell you where I went to with Jim, what county I went to with Jim, but that was only one county. But I can also tell you what other counties I would look into based on those things that I just told you. That's how I would find the other counties that I would look into. Now, the other thing you have to take into consideration right now is what tax sales are coming up. So the first thing I would do is go to Tax Sale Resources, which my members have access to. Members of the Tax Lien Profits Accelerator have access to Tax Sale Resources, where they can look and see what tax sales are coming up. Not only can they see what tax sales are coming up in South Carolina, they could do a custom search to see what's coming up in South Carolina. They could see how many parcels are in the tax sale. Okay, and so that's the first step. Then the second step is to get the results of the past tax sales. Okay. All right, so let's see, what else do we have? Ray is asking, can you start out with an inexpensive trial of either $47 or $147? And can ask Nicole, she can help you. Oh, I guess she's talking to Philip, I guess. Or Ray is talking to Philip. Okay, how you could, start out with that $47 program if you want. It gives you some basic training, very basic, for $47, and it'll get you on my list. And then you could do the membership. The membership, Ray, is $149 a month, and it includes all the workshops that I do. I do 2-hour workshops every other month. It includes that, and it includes group coaching. No, I don't use VAs to do my due diligence. I don't. I do it myself because I'm not going to pay somebody else to do it. All right. That's just me. I mean, you could pay me to do it if you want, but and I do it quickly. I have tools that let me do it quickly. Yeah, and Ray, you are exactly right. He says, I like the cheap places in the foothill mountains outside of the cities and cooler weather near the North Carolina border. Exactly, and that's exactly where we went, right? Went to Marlborough County, which is right on the North Carolina border there. Yes. Yeah, Tax Sale Resources, Ray, is what my members have access to find, and that's how I find out what tax sales. If you saw my newsletter where I showed you what tax sales are coming up around the country in that article in my newsletter, that's how I find that out. I do a custom search on Tax Sale Resources. My members get access to Tax Sale Resources. All right, so join the membership at $149 a month and you'll get access to that. Yeah, and you can have free access to Tax Sale Resources, but it won't give you the custom search. For that, you actually need a membership, and that's what my members get access to. They get access to all the functionality there. Okay, let's see if I missed any questions. Oh, okay. Jean. Hi, Jean. How you doing? Are homeowner dues considered a superior lien in New York State? Does anyone know? You guys chime in. Does anybody know about New York State? Are homeowner dues considered a superior lien? Jean, here's what I would do, because here's what happens in New York State. It's different everywhere. The cities can have different laws than the county. Each city is like their own entity in New York. So wherever you're buying, and are you purchasing liens or deeds in New York, Jean? Because they do both. So let me know, are you purchasing liens or deeds? Because it's different. All right. And either way, wherever you're purchasing, I would, if it's a city, I'd call the city clerk. If it's a county, I'd call the county clerk and ask. Don't call the homeowners association, because of course they're going to tell you that you're responsible for it. You got to call a city or county official and ask. I don't know, because this is changing. Different states are changing. Some counties in Florida, some counties in Georgia, you're responsible for the POA, Property Owners Association, or HOA, Homeowners Association liens. Here in Pennsylvania, not yet, but in Philadelphia, you might be. They did pass a law about that. So in Philadelphia, it might be, but not here in the rest of PA. And I don't think that's taken effect in New Jersey, but it's different in every state. They are trying to change that. I know Florida, you might be responsible for that, even if you buy in the, I'm not sure about the deed sale. It depends. It depends. But you do have to be careful with homeowner fees and property owner fees in some states, especially in Georgia. You can get stuck with that if you buy a redeemable deed in Georgia. You might have to pay those homeowner fees. I know an investor who that happened to. South Carolina sales are going on from now through December. They are going on now. I think you're not too late. Some of them are over, but there's still some going on. Check what I said in my newsletter. Did I mention South Carolina in my newsletter? If I did, they're still going on. But I think they are. I know there's a lot in November. As a matter of fact, the one that I went to was in November. But that one I think is done. Marble, I think, had theirs. Can I show you a little, can you show us a little about tax sale resources? On these Facebook Lives, I don't show my screen. I do that in my member trainings, all right? And in coaching, I share my screen with you and show you things on my screen. So I will show that in my coaching call, which is next week. So if you get into the membership, we can do that next week. Next Wednesday, 2:00 Eastern, I have the member coaching calls. And I also do a member orientation for new members too, and can show you that then also. Yeah, Ray, there are, I believe there's some going on now in South Carolina. And it's not $147 a month, it's $149 a month, Philip. And if you go to the link that Nicole sent you for to find out more about the membership, you could just go to my website, go to taxlienlady.com. And if you go to taxlienlady.com in the top menu, there's something that says join membership. Click on that, and that will tell you about the membership. You can't join from there, but it will tell you about it. And then there's a link that you could click on to get all the benefits that kind of, it just lists all the benefits and tells you how you could join. All right. Oh, and actually, Nicole just put that in for you. She put in the link that just tells you how you can join. Tells you about the benefits and how you can join. You could either do it for the year or for the month. You get some courses. If you do it monthly, you get courses over a couple of months, but you get my Tax Lien Basics course right away. You get a group coaching session with me. You get the wealth building webinars, all the wealth building webinar recordings. By the way, next month, we're going to have a wealth building webinar on Texas. The following month, we're going to have a wealth building webinar, I believe, on retirement accounts, self-directed IRAs. And then we might have another wealth building. And then in February of next year, I just lost my train of thought of what we were going to do in the following month after that. But we might be talking about some new tools that we'll be using in the members area. Because you don't just get access to tax sale resources. I also have a tool that helps you do due diligence on lien states and South Carolina. Yeah, Ray, next Wednesday at 2 p.m. You can plan for it. Once you're a member, you'll be getting the link. You still have to register, but members get the link to register. And it usually comes like a couple of days before. So just keep an eye on your mail. And sometimes it's also posted inside the members area. The registration link will be posted there. Let's see. See if I missed any other questions. I don't think so. And I think there are still a couple of sales in December in South Carolina too. There's a lot going on now in November, but I think there's a couple in December. Now, I did not see what Jean said about where in New York, Jean, and when you asked about those homeowner dues, are they considered super lien in New York State? And again, I'm not sure. It might depend on where. So I would call the city or county clerk and find out. I've invested in one of the cities in Orange County, and I don't think so, but I didn't invest in anything that had a homeowners association lien on it. Okay, Nicole's not seeing any missed questions. Last call. Last call, guys, for questions. What about Indiana liens? When are they? They're pretty much over. There are a couple of coming up. Couple of sales coming up. One of them I think is online, but most of them are over. The commissioner sales will be coming up in the spring. The regular tax lien sales happen in the fall, and I think there's only a couple left. And one of them is online, I think. Again, I find out about this with tax sale resources. And if you check my newsletter, check that article in my newsletter, because it might even say which one is coming up online in Indiana. Okay. Yeah, I like the commissioner sales in Indiana because the price of the lien is lowered. The starting price, it gets bid up at the sale. You bid premium in Indiana. But I like it because you get interest on your premium, you get interest on the certificate amount, and the commissioner sale, it's only a 4-month redemption period. You do need an attorney in Indiana. Okay. All right, so I think we got all the questions, Nicole. All right, let me ask you guys a question. What is it you would like to see in future Facebook Lives? What topics would you like to know? And wealth building webinars. What topics would you like on there? The $47 thing is not on the website, Peter. It is at taxlieninvestingkit.com. I don't advertise it. It's at taxlieninvestingkit.com. I don't advertise it because it's old. It's an old program. It's still good. But it's a good introduction, I'd say. And it also gives you'll get on my list, you'll get my newsletter every month, and probably more emails from me than you want to get. Yeah, but what is it you guys really need help with? Let me know. What is the one? Let me ask it to you this way. What is the one thing that you're missing? That would help you. Oh, Peter says New Jersey tax liens. Cool. I have a lot of experience with New Jersey tax liens. We could talk about that next time. And you guys can ask me questions ahead of time too. Just send them to, you could just put it right here in the Facebook group. Not group, this is a page. I do have a Facebook group, Investing for Success. You actually have to ask to join that group and answer questions before we let you join. Okay, because I don't want any scammers coming in there or people that just like to join groups. I want people who are really interested in tax liens and will abide by our rules. So you do have to, I know, Ray, you had wanted us to let people in, but they need to answer those questions before we let them in. Okay, to that Investing for Success group. But this is on my business page, and you can ask your questions here, or you could send them to info@taxlienlady.com. And Peter, I know you did that. You sent me a question. I think that's how you wound up here. I said, that's a great question for the Facebook Live. That was last week, right? Oh, an announcement, very important announcement. No Facebook Live next week. I'm in a 3-day class, and the last day of the class is next Tuesday. So I won't be doing this next week. We'll do it the week after. Yes, Thanksgiving week, we will do it. So I'll see you in 2 weeks. We'll do it then. I also have a tax sale that day too, and I haven't decided whether I'm going to the tax sale or not, but one way or another, I won't be able to be here. All right. So sorry, I'm going to miss you guys next week, but I'll see you in 2 weeks. Yeah, Ray says, I have been going to tax sales for years and have always gotten outbid. Never seemed to work for me. I have done this in Texas and been frustrated. Ray, you have to be on the webinar with Arnie Abramson because he's going to show you how you can have him or do it for you. Yeah, you have to pay for it, but it's worth it. It's worth it in Texas. Yeah, Peter, you want to join the Facebook group? Go to Investing for Success and ask to join, and then you'll have to answer some questions before we let you in. Okay, that's why you're doing other states like South Carolina. Yeah, South Carolina, you do yourself. It's easier in South Carolina. It's still competitive, but they put a cap on how much money you can earn. Texas doesn't. That's why, plus they don't pay as much. 12% a year. Texas is 25% in 6 months. So it's not as competitive as Texas. Okay. All right, everybody. I think, okay, Ray says some basics about doing due diligence. Ray, I've got courses that do that. I've got a whole lesson on due diligence in my advanced tax lien investing training secrets course. That's an advanced training. It does not come with the membership, but it does come with the coaching. All right, guys. It's 2:40. I am going to say goodbye. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Some of you that want to join the members area, I'll see you next week in the members area next Wednesday at 2:00. Okay. Have a really great week. If I don't see you in 2 weeks, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And you're very welcome. Bye, everybody.